If you've been playing Fortnite for a long time, you might notice that since Chapter 1, since Chapter 2, the updates for maps haven't necessarily hit the same, and I hate to be that guy, but honestly, for me especially, the map updates have not hit the same as they used to in Fortnite. We're going to talk about that today because I wanted to take a look at a very interesting post, which I'm going to bring you to. Wanted to make this video for a couple months. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, let's take a look at this from Graham. I think Fortnite should experience with their maps maps shape and geology more. Imagine it as most of the map and center was mountains. I imagine going through cave systems throughout the whole map when rotating. A build fight over a ravine would be thrilling. The whole island in pieces would be uniquely fun and shake things up a bit. So we're going to take a look at the rest of the pictures that was included over here, because just imagine all of these within Fortnite. You don't have to imagine it, because we have some brand new concepts that I want to share towards the end of the video and kind of give like what this might actually look like in Fortnite. So stay tuned for that. Let's take a look at the other things. So there was a cave post, which is really cool. A ravine one that is honestly my favorite one of the bunch. And then finally we have something that kind of feels similar to Chapter 2 Season 3, which was a fantastic theme, by the way. I still miss that map to this day, one of the greatest seasons of all time. But I also wanted to, with this, before we get into actually taking a look at what these look like, if they were like actually from Fortnite, I wanted to take a look, as we typically do, some of the top replies over here to kind of get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. I'm going to give my take on it, and as always, I'd love to know what you think about it down below, guys. Again, hit like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Repulsive Holiday had this to say: the main problem with the terrain pictured is if the storm closes in on them, a lot of people can be trapped without a way to the circle if they don't have mats and mobility. First of all, zip lines kind of fix this in my opinion, but that's really the fun about it. I don't know about you guys, but I really miss when the storm was actually scary in Fortnite. You had to run away from the storm. Now you can be like on the other end of the map doing some sort of quest or retrieving somebody's reboot card. Like, you can be in the storm for an extremely long period of time. I miss when it was like a big deal that we needed to get into the circle. So if we had more things like cave systems, if we had more things like little ravines that we could go in, and then you were all of a sudden trapped within there, and like, I loved when the storm and the map like were parts of the game in the sense where you had to worry about the storm coming. It's like, okay, the storm's coming, I'm stuck in this ravine. Do I fight this guy? Do I not fight this guy? Or you're stuck fighting somebody and you're stuck in this ravine. You need to hope that that guy has enough mats that you can get out, assuming that you were able to kill him. Like, it adds more variables to the game. It adds more intensity to the game. That's something that I really like personally. So the storm closing honestly isn't a big deal to me, but there were a couple replies to this, and I forgot that this was one of them. Zip lines are usually their solution for this. Remember that big ravine in the tundra part of the map of the Chapter 4? And even just when you're taking a look at like POIs like the grotto, I thought it was hilarious, like when you got stuck in some sort of caves and the storm was still coming and you had to like really gun it for that helicopter, and even then you had to worry about not crashing the helicopter within the cave system. It was just a ton of fun. There was another reply to it: yeah, but unfortunately that's a skill issue. Then you have to check where the storm is and where it's going all the time. If you see the storm moving towards a place with the tunnel system, you plan to make sure to be overground before it moves there. That's where I'm at. Like, is Fortnite supposed to walk like hold your hand as you're walking through the map? Like, I'm being completely sincere here. I don't see a big issue if people have to worry about the storm, but that was one of the top replies, so obviously people are a little bit more worried about it. Let's take a look at another reply from Layla Legion. That would be fun, but this sub would still whine that the game doesn't look like Fortnite. Yeah, but we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look at some actual Fortnite like kind of artwork with it. But the point being with this post over here is you could definitely figure out that Epic Games would have to deal with the people crying and whining about the new map change and how people like got stuck in there. Somebody would walk off the cliff, take a little bit of fall damage, and be like, Epic Games, why is there this big hole here? I don't want to have to look down where I'm walking. I want it to be able to be flat ground no matter where I am. And then the second they'll be like, Epic Games, why haven't you changed the map? I can't stand being on this map. Does it have to be just green grass all the time? You're ridiculous. Like, that's the reality of this player base over here. Let's take a look at what Link117 had to say. My dream has always been for a map comprised of 3 or 4 big islands connected by bridges, with a bunch of smaller islands dotted in the water between them. Maybe one island gets completely altered each season, and in the last season of the chapter, an entire new landmass rises from the ocean that connects everything and makes it one giant island. I think that'd be a funny way to go through stuff. Like, not funny, sorry, like, I mean, like, that's something that we've never really considered before, and I think it's really cool personally. So I wanted to include that one. Let's take a look at what Eggy Wegger had to say. Something I've always wanted on the island was a highway. I don't know why I was driving on one and I was like, oh my god, we need this in Fortnite. Now that I'm also thinking about this could be a fun way to do slipstreams. Just imagine like one general highway going around the map where your car could drive it like the speed of rocket racing. If you want to connect all of the different modes together, if Epic Games still wants a way to have all of the car things to purchase from the item shop, a reason to purchase all that stuff, you could have one big central highway in Fortnite, and if you step on the highway, get hit by a car, you take an insane amount of damage. I think that they just need to, like, add more things to the map like that. The train being one thing, for example. Like, why does the train still suck? Do you know how much potential and how much you have no idea, guys, how long I've wanted a train system in Fortnite for, and when we got it, they made it like the worst way you could possibly make a train system. It still breaks my heart, to be honest with you. But anyways, let's continue on. People couldn't even handle traversal changing slightly due to the environment in Chapter 4, Season 3. We can't handle this. That's unfortunately very, very true. It's completely correct. I know I'm going to receive the comments too where it's like, well, I'd be okay with the cave system. Like, first of all, there are exceptions to the rule. I'm talking about the vast majority of the online community. People would not be able to handle a cave system. People would not be able to handle some sort of ravine. Like I said, they walk off, they take damage one time, and suddenly it's the worst game of all time. But anyways, guys, I wanted to take a look because I did ask AI to generate, like, take a look at these pictures and generate what it might look like in Fortnite. So to take a look at the first one with all the different islands, this kind of looks a little bit inspired by maybe with the Chapter 2 map, Chapter 2 Season 1, if you remember the top left, I believe it was, it was top left of the map before Coral Castle when you had all those islands there. I think this would be really cool. It just reminds me of Chapter 2 Season 3, to be honest with you. It looks like it tried to generate Pleasant or Retail Row down there, but again, I think this is a really, this will be fun to play on, man. All the different water, all the different islands. I liked it. And now another one would be some really tall mountains. Like, think about this, man. It's Paradise Palms, but just so much better, because if you remember Paradise, you had all of these giant mountains, but they were kind of scattered out. I think it'd be cool to have, like, and I don't know about you guys, but I played so much and had so much fun when Fortnite had, like, the insanely different elevation levels on the map. Like, Stark Industries is one that I think about, because you're talking about, like, literally as high as you could go, and then there's just this big chunk of land, and people have to shoot down on that, people have to shoot up. Made for a really fun dynamic that we're not used to fighting in Fortnite. And the Chapter 2 map with that giant, I can't remember what it was called. Was it called Mount Fortnite? It actually might be, now that I'm thinking about it. The snow on the top of the mountain. You know what one I'm talking about? Like, think about playing on this, man. It'd be so cool. This one was the cave system, and I thought it looked a little bit weird the way that it was generated, but you can still get a general idea. We've played with cave systems before, like with the grotto and covert cavern. I think that's what it was. Why am I not remembering that name? I played so much that season. Anyways, you kind of get what I'm talking about over here. I still think it'd be cool personally. And this final one with a lot of mountains off in the distance and a lot of just different terrain, elevations, like that one picture we were looking at. You can see the mountain goes lower and lower and lower, and you can see all these bumps, and it just looks beautiful, man. Fortnite is really a beautiful game when you really want to dive into it, man, because this would be really fun to play on. And you can see the POI in the middle of all the mountains. It's just, when Fortnite were to make different maps again, going back to the Stark Industries update, they weren't afraid to just drop a giant landmass on there. That was one of the most beloved POIs of all time. I know that's just one example, but that's something that Chapter 1 did so well. With the different elevations of the maps, one of the reasons why I loved it so much. I think they need to play with this a little bit more, and I think that's what this map in particular is missing, in my opinion. I don't want to walk around and just see, like, a little bit of a color change. I want more things towards the idea of Mount Olympus. You have a giant statue on there. I think that's map changes done properly, personally. Now, guys, I do have a question for you speaking about Fortnite maps and different kind of, like, levels of elevation. I want you guys to check out this video on screen right now, because we talk about the possible death of Agent Jones, which would be crazy for the Fortnite storyline. Totally in relation to what I just said, guys. Check it out over here. I'd love to have you over there. Take care, everybody.